Hi, y'all. This is Rafiki Simone, and you are tuned into Order of the Mystic Healers. Everything you need to know about me is in the description box. If you need products, if you want to book a reading, all of the links are located in the description box. I will be your guide for this particular lesson, or you may want to call this an eye opener. Either way, I am going to be your guide for this session. I wanted to be able to share some things that I was able to reflect on while going on a short hiatus, going within, doing some different types of work on myself, and also putting energy into the atmosphere for the collective. With that being said, some of you may have heard of this before watching this video. Others of you may not have a clue of what this is. This will be milk for some and meat for others. All right. Nevertheless, you should be able to walk away with something today. All right. With that being said, let's get to the main course. I want to talk to you about something called the Qlippoth. Some people call it Qlippoth. Some people call it Qlippoth. And it's spelled Qui. No, yeah, QL. I'm sorry, Qliphoth. For others that may have ran into a variant type of spelling, it's Qlippoth. Nevertheless, it is dealing with Jewish mysticism, aka Kabbalah. Some of y'all may say it different. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Uh, but it is basically dealing with that vein. For some of us who need a breakdown of what that would look like in layman's terms, is if you are familiar with the tree of life, and at one point in time, you have taken the tree of life and applied it to your life in some kind of way. You have already consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously invited the energy of the clip off into your life. Okay. And for some of you who know about this, I'm pretty sure you are going to be saying some things in the comment section. For others of you, this is going to be a wow moment because um, it took me a long time to figure out that I had unknowingly went through the clip off. And the wow moment may come along the path that when you hear the breakdown of what it is and what it entails, you may feel as if you are actually going through it right now or you yourself went through it. Okay. But I'm telling y'all, this is some bombshell information and it goes deep. By the way, you will be hearing a background noise that is Baby Mystic enjoying himself on this fine day of Saturn, uh, day before Ishtar Day, aka Easter. Uh, I really do want to point out sidebar conversation. I want a lot of you to understand and know that you will be exposed to initiations Sunday that you may not want to be exposed to. Okay. Easter is a huge harvest day. It is also a huge harvest day for violence and um, taking people's lives, car accidents, uh, gun violence, any type of violence you can think of. It's always a siphoning day or holiday for higher up energies and archon energies. You know, archons are the ones that are the unseen. Some of them call, some people call them shadow government or the reptilians or a conglomerate of different types of people who basically feed off of Loosh. And Loosh basically is extremely low vibrational energies. One being the most common included is fear. And then I think hopelessness is one of them. And depression is the other one. And then anything that'll make you feel void of changes not being able to happen in your life that will bring your life into a better energy or frequency, that would be considered loose. But I do know that fear is one of the most common, because they also use it in the three-dimensional realm, which is the main ingredient for adrenochrome, the fear factor, that the I don't want to say anointment, but it kind of it's sort of it is it's their way of saying the anointment, okay, of taking the life force, okay, because Lucia is really dealing with life force, but it's just a huge thing of taking and harvesting, on a mass scale and on an individual basis. So just if you hear this today, just know that, if you get the inkling to stay home tomorrow, you're the type of person who goes to church, you want to stay home tomorrow. This will be a confirmation. You hearing me telling you, hey, you probably need to stay home, or don't or if you get like an energy of like, you want to refrain from being around a lot of people, then do that. Don't go against your own intuition, right? Because that's what this whole journey is all about. It's about strengthening your own intuition by trusting and listening to yourself, and course correcting that if you are incorrect, that you can be able to forgive yourself, let go of shame or guilt, or don't allow it to even attach to you, and then do it all over again, so you can be able to learn and build trust within yourself. Because this life, no one is your guru. No one is supposed to be your guru. No one really is supposed to be your master. Everybody is a guide, believe it or not. Some people are lessons, some people are blessings, some people are a mixture of both. And I'm just a guide for you all. You should always put yourself on the throne of your heart. Okay, God to me is the energy of love, and so that's what I call God. So that's what sits on the throne of my heart. But I am definitely one with God, and God is one with me. So therefore, I also sit on the throne of my own heart. So it is what it is, and let's continue to what the course meal is. That was a little bit of dessert that I gave y'all, right? All right, now let's get into this clip off, right? So one of the first times that I ever came in contact with clip off energy, I didn't even know that that's what I was looking at. And the reason why I'm saying look at is because I had, like, years back, I had bought an oracle deck, that on the back of the oracle deck, on the back of the cards, was a picture of the cliff off, and I didn't even know that's what it was called. And basically, it's the Kabbalah tree of life, the original. It's in Sephiroth form, but it has an actual tree, right? It's a tree, but at the bottom of the tree, it is the roots of that tree that is spread out like the tree above the ground. It looks exactly like a tree that is buried under the earth. But the difference is that it's never going to bear fruit. It's never going to, grow leaves and shed leaves, because it looks like the roots of the tree. But it is the tree of life inverted. Okay, that was the first time that I ever seen it. Didn't even know what I was looking at, child. But when I started to realize what the clip off was, I really started looking back on my life, and I realized that I had basically been going through this. It feels like always, like I had never had any kind of rest from walking through the cliff off. Okay, so some of you want to know what the cliff off is, or a clip off. It is, according to what I have researched, it is the introversion of the Sephiroth, aka Tree of Life. It is supposed to be the negative or destructive force of it. Now that I have more knowledge about what the cliff off is, it seems to me that it would be the womb of the Dark Mother. That's because that's where the chaos would be, but it's also destructive force, right? I recently I recently came across a clip by Bobby Hemmett, and y'all know I never belonged to a group of people, right? So I don't belong to the spiritual community on any social to any vast of social media, right? However, so I'm a new girl as far as like coming across certain people, and so I just it was a small clip, and he basically said you have to become God, God, and he broke down the acronym of God, which was generator, operator, and destroyer. And so, in order for you to become like God, you will have to operate in those three domains, whether you like it or not. And this is one of the reasons why, for the past 3, 4 years, I've been stressing the middle path, middle path, middle path, and really more so in myself than anybody else. It's because you if you may feel like in this life you are to walk the right-handed path. Some of you may feel like in this life you are just to walk the left-handed path. But I am telling you, if you really want to master yourself, you are going to have to find a way on how to walk the middle path. You cannot master yourself being balanced on one side and having no balance on the other. Now, this is not my opinion. This is reality's fact. Okay? You can't walk through life with rose colored glasses calling yourself a light worker, because true light workers have already went through dark nights of the soul continually. Probably have even went through the clip off not even knowing it. And picked themselves back up and done all this other stuff. And the reason why the elders back in my younger days, especially on my father's side, they mostly specialized in left-handed path magic. However, when I look back at it, I seen some aspects that were useful. Now that I'm older and I understand, I was afraid of it because I wasn't taught what it was. I just knew that what I was looking at, and it gave me a funny feeling of it. That's not being right. But the truth is that when you start walking down the middle path, you start to see that the perception that you were given when you were born into this three-dimensional realm of what is right and what is wrong is totally twisted. It's twisted. So, with that being said, gaining a true understanding of power, how to wield it, and also how to contain it is to really walk through the GOD method to generate, operate, and destroy. Right? So, and for some of you who are Christian witches, this stuff is in your Bible. It's in your Bible. You should know these things, but unfortunately, Christianity really doesn't teach you how to embody the operative or destructive side of God. They just show you how to generate prayers and different things like that for others, and be selfless of yourself and sacrifice yourself and put out all of this, do all of this work and all of this stuff. And that's the abusive side of Christianity. And it's unfortunate, but no, y'all really don't get past the G, and really y'all don't even really master the G side, because to really generate is to have at least an open heart to learn what comes after that. Because in order for you to truly generate, you're still going to have to operate it and then eventually destroy. So when I say destroy, I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, oh my gosh, she's talking about some wicked stuff. But no, look, this is not for you. If you're already feeling some kind of way and you feeling like this is wicked, you need to log off. Go find something else to do. Go find somebody else to play with, or go find somebody else to listen to. Because I'm just not your cup of tea, and I may not be your cup of coffee, but I am somebody's shot of ayahuasca. Okay, and this is where we have to go higher, because the evolve or die perception that has been taught in the New Age teachings, it embodies this, whether we like it or not. right? I don't care if Oprah and the man who wrote the book about a new Earth, or I forgot his name, but like I don't care if these people are involved in some wicked stuff behind the scenes or whatever. Sometimes things that are truthful come through people that you may not care for because of the way they're living their lives. And he was true when he said, uh, evolve or die, because this is where we're at. And to me personally, it looks like the whole entire earth is going through a simultaneous or collective clip off energy, okay, or clip off moment. So, what is the clip off in Kabbalah or Kabbalah? It is the introverted polarity, negative polarity, destructive polarity of the tree of life, right? Because the tree of life is supposed to be quote unquote benevolent. It's supposed to have benevolent influences and different things. You have Chakma and you have all these different other ones that signify something. One signifies glory, the other one signifies order, the other one signifies, I think it's banas, chaos. That's the feminine aspect, the divine feminine aspect. And you have all these different spheres or orbs that represents a certain thing. Well, you kind of sort of have something like that with the clip out, because remember, it's going to be a direct reflection of what's above the surface, and so what's beneath the surface is going to be, I mean, let's say for example, if you got one as victory, you're going to have one for defeat, right? You may have to go through some humiliation or something like that. But all I know is we're going to touch very lightly on the surface, because this stuff it can get really deep really fast and you could get lost in it. And so I'm only going to be introducing you to some and reintroducing to others what the clip off really is. It is known as a convoluted version of the tree of life, and I know I keep repeating myself in different ways, and I'm doing that on purpose to just reiterate what it is to some, and to kind of like when you hear something more than once back to back like that, you it helps you to retain it. Okay, some people say that, or they believe that it is a source of negativity, and in my humble personal experience, I can definitely agree with that. However, this is to travel through the clip off is very humbling, and it can it's it feels very destructive to your life as you know it. Okay, some symptoms may be like, all of a sudden your world is just turned upside down. You're losing things. You're losing people. You're just going through something over and over again, and it just seems like all hell is breaking loose all at one go, all the time. It's never letting up. Or just when you think you can get some rest, something else happens right behind the scenes while you're trying to recover from the thing that just happened, and something else is going on. It's all of these things, right? I believe just like the tree of life is connected to knowledge, I believe that the clip off is connected to wisdom, because a lot of us can get the knowledge, and getting knowledge is the three components of understanding. I've taught this for years, but I'm just bringing things back to y'all. This is one of the reasons why I still use the word understanding. You have understanding, understanding, overstanding. Okay, you have understanding, which will be the foundation of a house. If you're building a house, it needs to have a foundation, or you're not going to have a sturdy house, right? And then you have understanding, which would be the skeleton of the house, right? And then overstanding will be the roof, and then finishing the touches so that you could be able to start moving things in, right? So you're building the home. You furnish the home with wisdom. These are your couches and your chairs that you're going to be laying on and sitting on, your beds, your bathrooms, your this is where you're going to be spending all of your time, okay? And to make sure that what you have in your refrigerator for you to eat would be edification. Okay, these would be the things that will help you to push along in life, things that will edify your body, your mind, your soul, and your spirit to keep you pushing. Because if you have not edification, if you have not any form of exhortation, encouragement for yourself, you are going to get stuck in the clip off. And that's just what it is. Do I believe that everybody goes through the clip off? I don't. Some people in this lifetime may not have to go through it, but I do believe that right now, as a collective, there is something similar to this, or probably that is happening now. And once you see how we break it down, it may resonate for you to see that, like, yeah, okay, I'm seeing a little bit of this, right? Um, they say that there are evil forces, and there are evil forces that are involved in the clip off, right? You will have your demons or your daemons, your jinns, depending on if you are Islamic listening to this. You'll have the jinns where you have to do your Bismillah meditation and different types of things like that. You will have your energies or deities that. I'm sorry, I'm turning the microphone, y'all. You will have your energies or your deities that will be the embodiment of what we call and believe to be evil. Okay, evil. Evil being anything that would take away your or interfere with your ability or take away your ability to live a comfortable life. Yes. All right, because we know evil is lived or live backwards or live, to be alive. So there is a dismantle. There's a dismantling of the yourself, the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit, that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't come out of this, y'all. A lot of people get stuck. A lot of people get stuck. I can think of a couple family members off the rip that I do believe went was going through this and is stuck. One of the ways that you can find that someone is stuck and could have been have given up. I'm sorry that I'm because I'm not gonna edit this, y'all. I'm gonna let it stay just like this. For those of you who may have family members, friends, or spouses, whether they're ex spouses or whether you're with someone right now, or just life in general, you've seen a parent or a child go through it, or whoever, even yourself, you may hear this, and I want these gems to activate you so that you could know what the next steps you need to take if this applies to you. Only if this applies to you, because a lot of y'all that's hearing this, it may not apply to you. I don't know, but just share in the comment section below. I want feedback so that we could, because look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this shit is crazy. It is. It gets deep. Okay, it really does, and I don't know if I'll have to do like parts to this session or whatnot. I don't know, but getting back on track, one of the ways that you can tell that a person has been has is stuck in the cliff off and has given up. Let's say you've been knowing this person all your life. Let's say it's a sibling or a parent or somebody just you've been knowing all your life. And it just seems like over time, as you start to reflect on your relationship, it felt like at one point or period of time in you and this person being connected, it felt like one day this person appeared and it wasn't them. It was their body. You could tell their voice is the same. They may still dress the same, but something in them was different, as if like their body has been hijacked, right? Like as if they've been jumped into, right? Body swapped, body snatching. That's what it feels like. That's what it looks like. That's what it comes off like, right? So it's a lot of layers to it because it does command or call for you to move through the spheres like you would the tree of life. Now, my personal opinion, and I want to stress this, this is only my personal opinion. I believe that as a race of melanated, aka what the world will call is black people, I truly believe that melanated people under a group curse was placed in a loop in the cliff off. And the reason why I say that is because out of all of the races of people in the world, it is hardest for us to work together. It is the hardest for us to come together. It's the hardest for us to trust each other. It's the hardest for us to not have a crab in a barrel mentality. We are quick to help others that do not look like us. And to me, that is a perpetual hell. That is like a clip off energy. Um, it's it does it's very chaotic, and I believe, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I believe that my people are chaos beings in nature. You know, we do have a lot of chaos energy within us, especially because we have melanin. We have the highest concentration. We have some of the highest concentrations in the world. So being a melanated, aka black person, I don't use the word black. I'm just for the lack of better terms for people to understand. It can be it can be very deep, and in order for you to get out of it, you do have to move through the spheres because you will get caught. One of the one of Hollywood's one of Hollywood's depictions of the cliff off would be it, the original version of it, the children moving through the underground and having to defeat the spider. That's one aspect. It's not the whole entire aspect. One of the one of the best descriptions that Hollywood has depicted in film, I would have to say the Upside Down in Stranger Things. And so I'm gonna come back to that because I want to kind of I'm not gonna be able to like stay in it and break it down, but if you have seen Stranger Things and you will understand what I'm talking about. I am still going through the second season right now, so I'm still understanding some things. However, if you are the person who just went through all the seasons and you got it down, then you would understand what the upside down is. But let's finish just the surface part of the clip off, right? So in the clip off, you have what you call pathfinders or pathfinder. So in it's like a game, and I want y'all to understand that the cliff off, just like the tree of life, is a simulation in this three-dimensional realm. It is a program in this matrix. It is also, hold on, y'all, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So, um, the cliff off is it is a program, okay, and it is like a game. It is like a video game, computer game. It's a program, all right, and it is programmed to operate the way that the Sephiroth, aka Tree of Life, the Kabbalah Tree of Life, is also programmed. So this is one of the reasons why I said it's like we're looped as a people in this game, because if you're noticing, individual people are getting out of it, okay? And this is why I think it was so hard for us to really get into group economics, because if you notice, a lot of foreigners who move here, they it doesn't matter who's in office. Doesn't matter if they're Republican. It doesn't matter if they're a Democrat. For the first time, we could probably see somebody as the Green Party get in, and it still wouldn't matter to them because they have mastered group economics, and that's just kind of what it is. Well, we have a hard time because we're we as a people, again, in my humble opinion, have been stuck in a particular sinister part of the game, in this clip off energy, and it's due to what happened to us when it comes to enslavement, okay? Or what I would like to call the POW syndrome, prisoners of war, because some of majority of our people were already here. We were already here, okay? The quote of him coming here and finding copper colored people with wiry hair. That was us. They say less than 2% were brought in from Africa. Okay, so if you identify with the transatlantic slave trade, by all means, go ahead. I'm not here to debate you, and I'm not going to debate you. What I am here to do is enlighten you and open up your eyes to show you what happened. So, one of the things that, and again, this all is connected, okay? This is all connected for a lot of us who need to break out of this loop. You need to hear this, okay? Because very soon you are getting ready to find out, if you have not been paying attention to world events already, that is showing you that the higher ups in the hidden hand, they really don't care about race. They are eating loose from anybody who's giving it up, okay? But because a lot of us are still stuck in that race loop, this is to help you move an inch forward to getting free. So you can move through this Qlippoth and eventually graduate. Because what happens is when you die in this thing, it could be heavy repercussions and consequences, including possibly being stuck somewhere and not being able to reincarnate. Okay, so I'm just basically helping you, helping all of us, including me, move through a lot of these constructs or loops or programs that we are stuck on. Okay, so there's a part in the story of slavery or POW syndrome that happened to us, prisoners of war captivity, that happened to us, that is not spoken about. And I'll tell you what it is. It's extremely important to know what it is, because I'm going to lead you through a breakthrough concerning it. Okay. One of the reasons why the powers that used to be but ain't no more wants us to forget about slavery is because they don't want us to look back to see what they did to us, to hijack our own program that was in our minds or mental state, and to put us on a loop. And that was, they made us walk around a tree of forgetfulness. Okay? So it is important that you call back all of your members to yourself, all of the fragments across all spaces, times, realms, dimensions, portals, gateways, linear structures, up, downs, lefts, rights, diagonal dimensions, known and unknown spaces, doorways, stargates, any and all time or space related dimensions, known and unknown. So look, if you need to run that back, please do. Repeat that. I call back all of my fragments and my memberments that me and my ancestors willingly gave up walking around the tree of forgetfulness. I call my whole self back to me, healed and whole, full of unconditional love for myself and others, releasing guilt and shame, and conquering the spell of forgetfulness that came along with it, replacing it with remembrance of everything that me and my ancestors embodied before we were hijacked. And again, you can go and say, through all times of space, realm, dimensions, gateways, portals, stargates. Just go back and repeat what I just said, okay? As far as labeling all of those things, known and unknown, okay? And then that is non-reversible, okay? This is going to help, and you can do this for you and your children. This is going to help you in your lineage get on a different timeline than what you have already been on, right? Because at this point, The age of Aquarius is about working the individual man into health, optimal health, because the end goal is to regroup with the community. A lot of people just think that the Aquarian energy that is in this age is supposed to be about just individuality and that's it, about me, me, me. That is the clip off way of looking at it, or the inverted way of looking at it. It really is to heal you so that you can come together as a healed community to heal the world. Because the only way you're really going to heal the world is when you start with you, right? Michael Jackson talked about that, about the man in the mirror. Starting with yourself, asking you to change your own ways, that kind of thing. And it does. It's a ripple effect. It does work. Okay, and that's one of the ways. If you are a melanated person who you know without a shadow of a doubt, your ancestors have went through true slavery and prisoners of war energies, war tactics, scare tactics, trauma tactics, loose tactics, anything to keep you bound in low vibrational trauma and loop the program, you would want to go and say that, okay? Okay, this is all a part of the clip off. So, um, the Pathfinder being the game, right? The clip off, in the clip off, there are enemies, there are entities, there are energies that are enemies of everyone, right? They're there to keep you from progressing through the clip off, basically. And for some of you, this may be a mixture of demons, angels, energies, entities. Depends on your belief system, to be perfectly honest with you. Your version of the clip off is going to be tailor made for you. However, it is still going to, what doesn't change is that it's going to be a reflection of the Kabbalah tree of life. Kabbalah tree of life. So it's still going to look, and again, it's going to feel like entities are. Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Some of these entities are gonna use people around you. They're going to jump into lower vibrational people around you that have already been stuck, or in this lifetime, they're just gonna be used to hurt you. And I really do want to stress that all things work together for your good. Okay, it's just the tactic is to not get stuck. That's really to from my own experience, that's really what it is. And we're all gonna have what you call a thorn. One of the things that's gonna be hardest for you to get over, right? For some people, it may be unforgiveness. That's where you may get stuck at. For other people, it may be jealousy. You actually may get stuck at jealousy. Um, any other thing that you can think of, anger, enrage. You can take any of the seven deadly sins and flip them to the seven virtues, okay? And you'll see the correlation in between those two and the tree of life and the clip off, right? So basically, that's what it is in a nutshell. It's a RPG game, my guy. It's an RPG game, and it is dealing with some of the worst of the worst energies, entities, deities, spirits, demons, angels that you can think of. Because not all angels are good. You do have fallen, and not all demons are bad. You do have those energies that are looking for restoration. And I used to ask this question all the time when I was a young girl. I used to ask if, especially coming up in Christianity, and no one could answer. No one could have ever answered this question for me. When I left Christianity, no one ever could answer the question for me. So I used to say, out of all of these enemies that God had in the Bible, and God would go throughout the land and destroy, the enemies that God said that was my enemies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like the Anakites, or Anakim, Malachites, and all the ites and the eames that was these giants and Nephilims that's in the Bible, right? These Philistines and all these other, it's like, okay, if you can go and kill off Jezebel and all these false prophets and stuff, how come you have never defeated the devil? or as we would like to call him, Satan, right? We like to say the him, him, him. We always like putting masculine on everything, but for the sake of teaching, just roll with me, all right? Because I do not want to overcomplicate this. I want y'all to be able to get the meat or the milk that y'all need, so that y'all can be able to dig for yourselves and do research, okay? Because you are going to find liberation in some kind of way. I promise you. That's if you really want to get off the loop. Some people are comfortable being on the loop. They don't want to be saved. They don't want. Don't save me. You don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are so used to chaos. They don't want peace. They're scared of peace. So many people are used to operating in lust and disloyalty that they don't want to experience true love. They're afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? So they choose the low vibrational lifestyle. They choose to, that's because that's all they know. Some people are gonna have to continue to come back here to learn to learn. And some people may very well be stuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's just unfortunate, that they may have a Disney Coco moment where they will probably cease to exist because people will forget you. Um, but you know that, and that's the true death. That's the true passing away, is to be forgotten, and then you basically slip on into nothingness, right? If you believe that kind of thing. Some of you believe in heaven, some of you believe in hell. I like to believe that it exists even in the mind as we're living right now. Some of you may be in hell right now. Some of you may be entering into your version of heaven. But however you would want to slice this pie, you still got to understand that this pie is still called a program pie. Okay? It's programmed, and this is what it is. All right? So, but you can move through this matrix, and you can move through the programs. Okay? You don't have to be stuck. Um, there is there is a series on I believe it's Apple TV, and I wanted to really get into it, but it's called The Corruption of Qlippoth, and there's an episode called Berserk. Okay, and it's when the trolls, there's some trolls that captures a couple of people and they take them to the cliff off, which is an astral place between, supposed to be between life and death, but it's when Yod, or the God Hand, arrives to rescue these people that have been taken by trolls and different things like that. Well, there's different trolls in your life. There's different trolls in your life that will suck you into certain parts, sinkholes. Okay, so remember, in the tree of life, it's going to be spheres, right? And in the clip off, it's going to be suck holes. You going down these, different holes or tunnels, and you got to pass through. Remember, it's no different from playing Super Mario Brothers, y'all. Dun 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 dun. Like, look, it's going to be that. Now you can always get to the end and beat the boss. You can always get to the end and beat the boss, but there's so many different ways to get there, right? You know that in World One, one of one, when you get toward the when you get to the flag, and then the second, which is 1-2, you're under the ground, and it's a bunch of bricks everywhere, right? When you leap on top of the highest part that you can get on, and then you hit, because you gotta have a mushroom now, which is an eye opener, is to help you grow, right? The mushroom helps you to grow. So when you get a magic mushroom or a secret mushroom in this life, you are gaining some form of knowledge that's gonna help you push through, right? And look, you get to get powers. You explore powers that you have. The star, which is extremely powerful, it makes you invincible and all powerful, but it only lasts for a moment. But then you have the ability to get what me and my brother used to call plucking power, plucking power, because you have the fire flower, right? Where you can flick fire at your enemies. So again, you're going under to explore this shadow side of you. It's to integrate. It's not to disintegrate anything. You don't look. It's not like in Christianity where you got to kill the lower man. No, don't kill off the lower man. The lower man is necessary. Ego in its rightful place serves a beautiful purpose. To be all out of just swinging ego every day. Now that's an issue, right? But you can't be all light as well. You're gonna have to integrate. This is why walking the middle path is so important. And I do suggest that after you hear this, if you don't know what the Qlippoth is, please go look at other people's videos. Go look it up, research it, read about it, because it's important that you understand this. And the reason why it's important that you understand this is because real truth, low key and high key, that black box in Mecca that is depicted of the power of Saturn that rules the Piscean age that they don't want to let go of, that Saturnalian energy, that strict, unforgiving, judgmental energy that they have been conjuring up for ages and eons. That is what's attached to this Qlippoth energy. And this is what they have been using to rule the world system. So when you understand that on a global scale, no matter what color you are, race, gender you are, beliefs, whoever you choose to love, in an intimate way, if you want to have kids, if you don't want to have kids, if you believe in abortions, if you don't believe in abortions, if you're rich, if you poor, if you high, if you short, if you tall, if you addicted, if you ain't addicted, it don't matter. None of those titles or stipulations matter. What matters is that this particular energy has been ruling the world and is still in effect. However, we are seeing, to my humble opinion, this is my humble opinion now, I believe that we are seeing the crumbling of that system as we know it. And this is why certain energies at this time is necessary, whether we like it or not, like them or not. It is to help crumble this whole entire system, because we cannot go any further off this system anymore. Everything that had to be fulfilled in the system has been fulfilled. So there's a new system that is underway, but it's really up to us to come together to create this system and solidify it. Because this system is supposed to be for the people, by the people. The illusion of for the people, by the people was in the age of Pisces, and we know that it was never. We never ran it. We never ruled it. But this golden age one, it is going to be that. And this is why the powers that used to be, but ain't no more, is trying to tooth and nail hold on to whatever they can through whatever means that they can. And this is why they don't want you to know this kind of information, because they don't want you to get free. Okay? So, I'm sorry about that little ghetto mouth pop. Going back to the upside down and Stranger Things, right? So, basically, they're saying, if you don't know what the upside down is, I'm just gonna say spoiler alert for those of you who have not seen Stranger Things. Just don't. My girls was like, "Mom, you need to see this," and they've been saying this for a few years, and I have been like putting it off because I don't really like to go to what's popular at the time. But I noticed that it's not good to refrain from checking out things when it's hot, because sometimes you do get that download right then and there. But for me, I think I at the right place at the right time. I delayed it, and I think that delay was exactly what I needed, because I can understand it now. But as I've been watching Stranger Things, the Upside Down is basically a realm in Stranger Things, the series on Netflix, that's on Netflix right now. It is an alternative universe or dimension that is parallel to the surface of what we live on an everyday basis, right? And I want to remind you all that Stranger Things is actually based on real events that happened in Montauk, New York. Okay, I want y'all to also do your research on that. There were there were situations and circumstances that did unfold in I think the 1960s that was dealing with a man that had very strong psychic powers that opened up a portal or realm for a monster to come through in Stranger Things. They call it a demigorgon. All right, and I want y'all to pay attention that in Stranger Things, again, this is a spoiler alert. If you do not want to hear this, you may want to go ahead on and fast forward. But this is extremely important. You got to remember that that the young kids, because believe it or not, the kids are the saviors of all of this. The kids, it's the children. This is why the children are so important. This is why trafficking of bodies has came up to the surface like we've never seen it. It's because children has they have the purest they possess the most purest form of life force, because when you are a child, your impressions and your perception of life is still being created. This is why even in Christianity, when Jesus said, for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven, it's best that you have a childlike heart. Now, I'm only paraphrasing this for those of you who are Bible thumping police officers. Okay, it was just a paraphrase, but the reason why having a childlike heart is so important and reserving your wonder is because you're able to see magic better. Look, I've tested this theory out on myself. I'm not telling y'all nothing that I ain't never did. And I'm telling y'all right now, I know for a fact it's true. Tapping into childlike wonder and always incorporating whimsical energy into your life on a daily basis, or trying the best that you can to let your inner child shine as much as possible. I'm telling y'all, y'all will start to see magic all around you, even good or bad. But again, remember, your perception is what's going to carry you through. So if you are on this light train, love and light train, and you don't want to see nothing evil, then hey, I mean, you're only going to see what you perceive, what you want to perceive. But if you are ready, only if you're ready to go down this middle path, only then will you see both sides of the fence. And then you'll start to really see that there really is no fence there. Okay? So, in Stranger Things, these kids are playing a board game, an RPG board game. Okay? And there is a monster in the board game called Demigorgon. Well, they found out that uh, in the Upside Down that this thing actually exists, right? So it's a parallel universal dimension to the human world. Okay, it is basically the tree of life inverted. All right, it is, and it's a metaphor. It's basically showing you what we have to go through. One of the children, they get hijacked. All right, they get hijacked. One of the boys, I think his name is Mike. He gets hijacked, and then he becomes like tethered to the upside down, and the Demigorgon uses him as a way to track everyone else. Something kind of like that. But they according to what I researched online, they said one of the reasons why this world ended up being created was because 11, the young lady who has huge psychic powers, used by shadow government in Stranger Things, she is so powerful. She ended up going into the parallel universe and touching a demigorgon, and so that created like a void or an opening or a doorway between our world and the upside down. Okay, mind you, ironically, in Stranger Things, the upside down is accessed through a wooded area. Okay, through the woods. So they're basically telling you this is esoteric knowledge in your face, and a lot of us didn't know it because a lot of us didn't know about the Qlippoth. You know, a lot of us didn't know about Qlippoth. A lot of us heard about the Tree of Life, but a lot of us didn't hear about the Kabbalah Tree of Life, like as it being a part of Jewish mysticism. And the reason why I keep pressing on to Jewish mysticism is because this is what has ran the banking world. This is what has ran the entertainment industry. This is what has ran everything, every type of industry you can think of. The Jewish hand was there. So this is their programming. Whether you like it or not, this is their. They don't want you to know this. You think they want you to know this? And then for somebody to be giving you a walkthrough or a cheat code to get the hell through this, they want you to be stuck. So you can keep coming through the door. So you can keep coming through the door. Because the truth is, they really want you to keep coming back here. For others of you, they want you to be so trapped in the Qlippoth that when you do pass, that you go into what you call the light void. The light void is where all these souls are going through this perpetual terrorism, okay? And they're producing loosh consistently throughout a lifetime. And that's how they're eating as well. So there's so many ways that they want to trap you. Remember, I told you it's like a video game. To bring it back to a simpler sense, remember Super Mario Brothers. I don't care if you remember one, two, or three. Baby, throughout all them little worlds you're gonna have to be going through, you're gonna have to deal with them little brown looking mushroom top head things that's gonna be trying to mess with you. Then you got them flying turtles called them Koopa Troopers. You know, then you're gonna have the squids, the cheeches, which is the fish and stuff in the water world, the underworld, and then you got the demi bosses, the semi bosses, right? Depending on what version of Super Mario Brothers you playing. But any RPG game that you play, whether it's new or old, I don't care if it's Red Dead Redemption 2 or Tomb Raider or whatever, you're gonna be coming through series of enemies that you are going to have to deal with, right? Lower level energies where you can just stump them on top of their head and then they're non-existent and you keep going through. But then you have the ones that are more powerful where they have a longer lifespan and you're going to have to keep chipping at them until they eventually are gone and non-existent and you pass to the next level. Well, some of us are given the clearance to give you a cheat code. You don't have to go toward the end in World 1, 2. Just jump on top of all of the bricks, break through the ceiling brick, and then run all the way to the right until you get to these tunnels where you can warp to different worlds. You can skip levels. And this is why I keep telling y'all can skip freaking levels. I hope this is good for somebody. But they said that the upside down world happened when 11, while in that void, touched a demigorgon, right? So, and the fact that she's called 11, El for short. El is God. It's another word for God. It's a title, right? El means it's plural, all right? So when you say Elohim, it's plural. It's not singular. It's plural. When you say El Elyon, it's plural. Okay? El Shaddai, which means the many-breasted one. This is a connotation of a feminine goddess, a mother goddess that has many breasts to feed her children. This was an energy or a Jewish or Kabbalah energy that you could have called upon or probably still can if you believe in that kind of thing, Christianity and Jewish mysticism you can call on when you are in your spiritual infancy stage to help you. She is a milk giver or some form of provider or provision of milk to sustain you. I'm not gonna say she can't help you when you get older, but many breasted ones. She provides in multiple ways, and you have all of these L's, right? And so this is again plural energies. These are pantheons that you're calling on, whether you like it or not. Hey, I'm just a messenger. I don't care if you don't agree. You look it up yourself. The word L or the prefix L is plural. All right, go argue with your mammy. Don't argue with me. But 11, which is, and I'm just going to say this, in Christianity, 11 is supposed to be a function of a disorganized government because 12 is a completed government, right? But 11 is a portal number, it is a master number. So we are looking at them portray this young girl, 11, as a master. And what they're showing you is that the warrior and the master is a child. This is why she's so powerful. It's because she's a child. Now, no matter how old she gets throughout Stranger Things, she still has her power. And that's just what it is. Her friends help her because they have the knowledge of the board game. Okay, now this is in the first season. They have the knowledge of the board game. The mystery around 11 shows you what you can embody. The fact that she comes from a mom who also has psychic gifts. Watch this. However, the mother is trapped in the Qlippoth because she can't speak. She can't speak. She doesn't react. She's just kind of like there staring. All right, she's stuck, and it's because she's stuck in the Qlippoth. And this is one of the reasons why I'm telling y'all this is kind of what it looks like. It looks like a hijacked body. It looks like, and I've experienced this through family members and people that I was once connected to. I have seen it where a person had went off on vacation and came back, and it was like it was not them. It was not them. And I remember asking someone that I was connected to, was like, did you get body jumped in or whatever? And they kind of had this look like they were trying to figure out what I was asking, but I knew that they were never the same. And lo and behold, it was they weren't. They weren't. But so basically, her psychic abilities um, is what helps those kids, but they also help because their knowledge of the board game. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, the knowledge of their board game that they are playing actually applies to what's happening in their parallel world with their Sephiroth, aka Tree of Life, which is above the surface, and their Qlippoth, which is the upside down. All right, so it is, to be honest with you, when you start to realize in the tree, in Stranger Things, you start realizing that she really didn't even, she didn't create it. It existed before her, okay? But she definitely did open up the door or the void for it to be easier for someone to travel in between those worlds, that kind of thing. But Qlippoth or Qlippoth is definitely it's inhabited by monsters. It's a very convoluted place. The upside down. Okay. It's also having an energy of like something being frozen in time. This is one of the reasons why it is easy to get stuck there. Okay. One of the ways that you know again that you're in is your whole life is chaotic. You don't have to be doing anything to anybody. Things just be happening to you as if like it's a bunch of curses being sent towards you or whatever. And this could also very well be as well. Remember, I told you these energies can jump into people and use them at any time. Now, when it comes to cliff off energy, some people will say that you need to be initiated into it. No, that's not how it works. You don't get to say who is initiated through this and who is not. This could be written in the contract that you took upon in this lifetime. All right? And that's just what it is. It could be written for you to go through certain things and you not even know that you're going through the cliff off. Okay? Now, from my experience, and I'm going to say this because somebody out there may need to hear this. All right? Um, when you are dealing with people, whether family members or whatever, that are willing to sacrifice you for fame or fortune or whoever, whatever. One of the things to create a living sacrifice in exchange for someone getting fame and fortune or whatever they are trying to obtain by way of sacrificial lamb stuff, right? You have the blood sacrifice and then you have the living sacrifice, which we call, for the lack of this better term, the scapegoat sacrifice, okay? And I've talked about this before, several videos, throughout my own experience, realizing that because I could not be taken out of here, that I was used as a scapegoat sacrifice for several members of my family and people that I had befriended over the years, and also people in the industry that I've came across. Okay, and what happens is that in a coven, especially when you're dealing with high magic, Aleister Crowley high magic, 777 theory, that kind of thing, when they're merging Egyptology with the Kabbalah tree of life, esoteric knowledge and teachings, you get that Madonna effect where you do become like you see them, those people become high priests or high priestesses in high magic, okay? Ceremonial high magic. And again, if you don't know what these things are, pause this, go look it up. But what happens is that when you come across a coven of people who are looking to destiny swap, siphon energy, get higher up, and keep you trapped for them, that kind of thing, for them to gain something, and for you to kind of stand in the gap for them and be continuously crucified on the cross for them. What ends up happening is you find yourself going through the Qlippoth because they have pushed you into it. I do believe, and again, this is my humble opinion, that people could ceremoniously throw you into the Qlippoth without your knowledge, so that with the intentions of you being stuck there as a sacrifice for those entities that they work with, that is within the programming of the Qlippoth, to continuously be a thorn in your side, to keep you stuck, and again, be the Koopa Trooper, and be Bowser, and just to keep trying to defeat you so you won't advance forward and get out on the other side, that kind of thing. And so when you are a person who has energy like 11, and again I want to stress that a lot of you are going to walk away with thinking that if you've watched Stranger Things or start to watch it, you're going to want to your ego is going to want to start making you tap into psychic powers, or calling down psychic powers, or developing some form of psychic powers, discernment, intuition, or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. But that's not your focal point. Your focal point is to preserve and operate within the heart of a child. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people get stuck in the Qlippoth. It's to disintegrate the child within you, because that's actually the purest part of you. Okay? This is why they want us stuck in a 9 to 5. This is why they want us stuck worrying about bills, worrying about money, worrying about credit scores, worrying about where we gonna live, how we gonna pay the bills, how we gonna do that, how we gonna do that, how having you singing these different songs of worry and stress. This is why it's to help kill off the inner child, because once that inner child begins to lay dormant, or you kill that inner child off because you've been told that adulting is where it's at, which adulting is a lie. That's a lie. It's an illusion. None of us know what it is. We're all still trying to figure this shit out. And the truth is that you're really still a child that has advanced in a body that is going to eventually be returned back to the earth from which it came from. But your likeness inside of you, source, is that of a child. It's the purest form. It's the purest form. This is why you have to be extremely evil and wicked to do acts against children and babies. Okay? That's why. Right? Adrenochrome is not harvested mostly from grown people. They can get it from grown people, but it's gonna hit different when it's from a child or a baby, right? Because whatever look, because they're pure and they're innocent, whatever they feel, their emotions, it's going to create instantaneously within a child. This is why childlike wonder and imagination is important. Once that starts to fade, life starts to life and things get real and adulting becomes the theme. So it's again, it's always best that you tap into that creative side. That get you a coloring book. Don't color on your phone. I used to have an app on my phone. I took the app off my phone. I want to be able to color. I got I have an adult coloring book and I have coloring books with me and my son. Drawing, painting, whatever helps you tap into you, that passion, that love that you feel when you're doing something you really love. That's what you continue to tap into. Don't be so busy where you lose yourself thinking that you're advancing when really you're stuck, because there's an illusion and a deception within this thing that is telling us that you're stuck. I mean that you're advancing, but really you're stuck. We all don't know it all. I don't know it all. You don't know it all. But whatever I'm finding out, I'm willing to share. And my prayer is that other people who have this mindset will continue to share because it's going to liberate mankind. Because and that's me having faith, because I'm telling you all right now, we're coming to the threshold, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. This ain't got nothing to do with your beliefs. This is the truth. We are already at a threshold where we as a whole in the earth is going to have to choose whether we want to be destroyed or whether we're going to advance. And all of the conflicts that you're seeing on the face of the earth right now is basically reflections of that. Okay? So I want you all to be safe today. Whenever you hear this, be safe. Be safe. Make sure you pay attention to the energies around you, right? Pay attention to the energies and the people, the places, and the things that you are in and that's around you, because all of this is going to show you if you are in cliff off energy, okay? Going through something and it's a cycle over and over again, there could be a lesson or something that you could be missing. When in doubt, tap into your childlike wonder. Tap into your childlike energy. This is one of the reasons why it is really good to ground, go in nature. If your weather is permitting for you right now to touch some grass, put your feet on the earth, walk, pray, cry. You want to do that every now and then. Go through your detox. You don't Spiritual detoxes don't have to have you praying all day every day, just walking back and forth, running a groove through the ground, and just being all holier than thou. Sometimes a spiritual detox is just putting your phone down and not consuming a lot of stuff. If you're a person who listens to a lot of tarot readings, this could be a confirmation right now for you to just back off of it for a minute. Back up off of it for a minute. Getting eating from too many houses can get you sick. You know what I'm saying? So just back off, take a deep breath, and just sit back and allow yourself to just purge all of this stuff that you've been placing in. That way you have an opening for you to receive what you need to go to the next level. Because this is real, y'all. We're all running off of a program. We're all running off of it. The Matrix is another movie that is really good for showing you what the upside down is, or AKA the Qlippoth. It's really good to look at these movies with that in mind from now on. Okay? I'll tell you what is a reverse for a Qlippoth movie is Avatar, the first Avatar. Right? The humans were in a Qlippoth state. And they were plugging into avatar bodies, and they were experiencing tree of life or heaven-like energies, this beautiful world of Pandora, and these blue lights and talking trees and everybody as one. This is where we're going back to a paradise within the mind, within the self, and it will reflect throughout the world. This is why we're being called to do the work. And if you're not doing the work, you will die. It's only two ways out of this: evolve or die. You get to choose. I hope this helped you all today. And if you want me to dive in a little bit more deeper about this Qlippoth energy, please leave a comment below. I love you all. And again, my name is Rafiki Simone. Thank you for tuning into Order of the Mystic Healers. And everything you need to know about me is in the description box. May protection and love and peace garrison your heart. See you next time.